Okay, welcome back to Kamen Review, episode number 171. We are here reviewing episodes 30 and 31 of Kamen Ryuki. 30 is mostly put a pointless episode, except that this just introduces a brand new supporting character who will be here for the remainder of the series, missing only a few episodes. Yes, so after apparently the events of the previous episode, we have Yuka, where he is apologizing to Zelda. And then, of course, he gets sued. Zelda does. Because apparently, breach contract? Breach of marriage contract? And he's like, I never got engaged to her. And the whole thing is running around with very few meeting her, telling very similar stories, she got proposed to her multiple times. At one point, he was burning her finger. Rinko wasn't going to write an archive, and that he was basically a pig. But I think he should just give it up because apparently Megumin basically just wants to do with him. Oh yeah, apparently she's got this incurable disease, and it turns out, no, she does not. She just has low blood pressure, and of course, he is asked. There was a funny scene in the episode where Garo basically, right before this, Garo's like, why did you hire her? Because she's on the show is unstoppable. He fired her because she was clueless. Careless. Because she kept tripping and causing food on her, wrecked his car, and also apparently screwed up about getting him tea. Yeah. So then his final thing, gets a particular favorite food, but he gets one thing wrong. His catchphrase. He says, and of course, Garo's like, oh, ladies man. Nope. Easy money. Shows the fact basically how good he is at his job. And then, of course, the whole thing of her unstoppable because she's actually a really good fighter if that's ever her being really much a ditz. And then apparently go on a date, and turns out, nope, she's perfectly fine. She's basically suffers low blood pressure. And, well, she is apparently, despite the fact she had a food truck where she tripped and the food ended up on a monster. And of course, Garo was like, "Nah, I know the monster feels." Eventually, of course, we went on a date. They supposedly get married, and then of course it's not mentioned. And then all of a sudden, at the end of the episode, the chief, the editor of the oral journal, decides to hire her. Except next episode, you think, is this one-off? No, she actually does get hired. And despite the fact she wanted to be a journalist, she accidentally filed for the secretary application. So she's secretary, and then the whole thing of 31, her subplot in the episode, is basically her bickering with Nanako, the one who's been the junior journalist for a while. 31, I thought, was a much better episode than 30. 30 was completely pointless. 31 is simple. You have Asakusa, where he's like, he has his 3 monsters, ooh, time to feed you. I feed you well. And then, of course, there's a cruise ship, and it's assumed that his monsters ate all the people on board. It's like a ghost ship. Nope. He didn't do that. They were all different monsters. Of course, they assume immediately it was him because 3 monsters. It possibly could have been him. Plus, we do briefly see in this episode, because she was absent in the previous episode. And who was that, you might ask? Yuri. Yeah, she was absent last episode. I remember her being in the last episode. Apparently, she was credited being there, and she didn't do much anything. This episode, she's here for a quick cameo. And I'm kind of okay, we see her just chatting with her aunt. Yeah, chatting with her aunt who returns this episode after being absent for a few episodes. Yes, her aunt had been absent. Like her return to this episode, her aunt Seneko. First time she's appeared since episode 27. She's absent for at least 3 straight episodes, and she is kind of back here mostly for the remainder of the series. Only missing, if you're curious, how many episodes she missed of the remaining like 20-ish episodes. She only misses 2. She misses 35 and 49. That's it. Oh yeah, I did find the episode quite interesting. Also, it's interesting though, the guest host episode, Mika, which apparently she appears next episode. I'll probably watch later. She actually does return as a different character in Kamen Rider Wizard 10 years later. You're like, what? Yeah. And she aged, well, she's basically 10 years older. If you're really curious. So, this came out in 2002. So, I'm assuming at the time when this aired, she must have been about 13 when this aired. That means when she appeared on Wizard, she was 23. Currently, she's 35. She's like a year younger than me. And I'm looking at a picture of her. She looks very pretty. Yep, and she appears just for a couple episodes. I'll talk about the other one next time. But I say of the 2 episodes that the first episode was mostly pointless, except for Juicy brand new character. 31 was a much better episode, much better one. Yeah, and also she thinks that Asakusa basically was going to save her, and you're like, Asakura's like, no, the guy is a freaking murderer. Yeah. But not really much else to say about this. But yeah, that's going to be pretty much it, particular review. Please be sure to comment, subscribe, turn notifications. I wonder where Odin is. Yeah, he's actually been absent. Actually, mostly put, basically, Yuri's brother was briefly mentioned in the episode. Yeah, and Shiro has been absent. Yeah, where the heck he is, don't know. He's been absent since like 28. He's absent in a few episodes. He might return, who knows. Okay, so next up, from All Country Mumpkin, the Master Swordsman. Okay? Next video. Bye.